Hello.
Hey, you're listening to...
Hello, everybody.
You're tuned in to Alto Radio.
You are now tuned in to
Alto Radio.
So I'm Tom, co-founder of Alto Radio, and we've been running the station for almost 5 years. We founded it back in 2020 during the height of lockdown.
Mm-hmm. I'm Owen, and I am also co-founder of Alto Radio with Tom. We met at work. We had a sort of dead-end office job, I think it would be fair to say.
Yeah.
Tom was doing marketing at a company in town which sold extreme sport activity days, which is an interesting profession.
Yeah.
But we got chatting there because we were on the same bank of desks, and found out we were both quite into music at the time, and began DJing together under Loose Sounds. We released a mix series on Mixcloud doing that. And then eventually, as time went on, we sort of floated the idea of this radio station, and eventually had to find the right time to make it happen.
And we have a lot of friends who were DJs and still are DJs, and we just kind of wanted a platform for them to express their music, express their mixes, express their ideas, and with Alto was the best place to do that.
This one, a cheeky edit by Sky Rager, Danny Sight Magic, the edit. Love is good. We all need it. We all need it.
The station started in lockdown. It was probably about 2 years in that we got the physical space.
Yeah.
Around about. So for the first 2 years there was no physical interaction. So the community that was fostered there was through sort of pen pals online, friends, people that were yet to physically meet. But then when they come together and meet for the first time, that was almost, just like meeting up with old friends, because really they had already been a part of this community that existed online. I do the scheduling Friday nights, Saturday afternoon, night, and Sunday afternoon. So really, it's a finite amount of time. So we do only have so many slots going. That is the tricky bit. So it is impossible to get everyone in, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's hard.
But the idea, we sort of try and schedule dancier stuff of an evening, and maybe slightly more mellow stuff of a Sunday afternoon. However, the nature of the way that we approach people for shows, or they approach us, the guidelines are non-existent. So if someone wants to do an ambient set one month and then a gabba set the next month, that is fine. So that might be a bit tricky for putting them on at 1 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. But also, that's kind of the beauty of how it should work in our eyes, that it just is, because it's, again, a group of people that are just coming together. There should be no sort of, I feel embarrassed to play that, or maybe it's a bit much. It's like, crack on. Yeah. I mean, like, no one's judging.
Tom and Owen just do it for the love of music, and it really shows, and they're open to anything, and they put so much time and effort in. So no idea is a stupid idea. They're just go for it, and you have free reign basically. So it's perfect.
Yeah, they're some of the easiest people to approach. I literally sent them a message and it was we'd love to have more people on the show. What do you want to play? But even that what do you want to play, I think, was more for them to get a sense of what was coming on the radio than we have a strict music policy, which I think also leads us to being more creative with song choice when we're scrolling through Bandcamp for hours on end, or going into SoundCloud archives, because I'm not worried that Tom or Owen are going to turn around to me and be like, you can't play that.
In the early days when we first got the space downstairs, when we first got that space, it was basically a night out. People would and if their friend was playing on the station, they'd invite their friends, and obviously friendships are forged in that way.
Our spheres of people, which I think is quite common in Leeds, were slightly like a Venn diagram, a few people know a few people. So it only takes being involved in something like this to kind of open that up and then discover new friendships, which helps you it makes me go out to more stuff that maybe I was going to a club night. She's like, come along, and I'm like, you know what? None of my lot are going, but at least I can go with you, and it kind of pushes that on more.
Yeah, that's always a nice one to see when you see people that have met through the station, then start either gigging together or putting a night together or just doing anything together, just hanging out. It's just really nice. I mean, Barry Smith has been like, he has a show called Barry's Here, and he's often on a Sunday afternoon, and he'll come down and at midday and stay. Won't go home until 6 p.m. because
Yeah, they do 2 hours.
we're just chatting in the studio, pop to M&S and come back with some goodies.
Has a roast beef sandwich, has a couple of Guinness, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's just a really nice thing. Like, we want that to happen because then he meets these people, and Barry's been in the game for a long time. Like, proper Leeds DJ.
Yeah.
And it's really nice for then someone like that to meet someone who's just arrived in Leeds, maybe, or is looking for a foot in the door there, and then before you know it, they're chatting about covering gigs here, there, and everywhere, and they're forging friendships there.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to worry too much about noise at the moment, but could quite quickly be in a situation where we do.
Yeah.
Because of the developments that are happening.
If you think it's actually in Holbeck, not in the city centre, right, you can walk from the city centre in 15 minutes, but it's not there.
Thankfully, like, the development on this side of the river is going at a snail's pace. So yeah, Air Park, which is still is not open by the looks of things, there's still a fence around it. But if that was to expand this way, then yeah, that's definitely something to worry about.
We've lost some titans of the scene, like Wire was such a big loss.
The amount of closure at the moment is really sad, and money being the driving force at the moment, even at the sacrifice of culture. I think one thing that needs to be fostered and can't be broken is the sort of community spirit.
A lot of things are closing, and but I think it's changing and evolving. Like, there are new spaces. Like, for example, in the summer I went to this day party at the new Headingley Club, and it was the liquid gold one. I felt like this is it. Like, we're all here, but people are coming to have a beer because this is their local, and it's this is proof that we can all just do it together, and it can be done really well.
When we first got this studio space, James and Laura, they weren't test bed, they were really kind and kind of gave it to us for free. It was at the start, and they gave us the small room downstairs, and that was a great launch pad for us.
Yeah, there's no way we would have been able to afford an actual office or studio without that kick start from them giving us it for free, which is just really kind. Tom's friend built the desk.
Yeah.
The bench that sat on was the cushions were upholstered by my stepmum. The lighting was done by Georgie Hall, and I think there's just these little touches where people have helped us out along the way, which we wouldn't have been able to do ourselves. I can't build that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we needed one, and your friend did it, and then that cost is just down, and then we have that forever now.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just stuff like that where you can call upon your friends and family and people within the local community to support. And I think, yeah, particularly the big one was to get in the studio, because that would not have been able to happen.
But she used to be part of the loft, well, she still does loft parties.
And people are still here, and people still want to do it and still want to make it happen, and that spirit, you can just feel it when you're there. So yeah, I have not given up on Leeds.
Yeah, pure unadulterated joy on the dance floor. When you look out and everyone's just having a good time, you bump into people you haven't seen for a while.
I didn't think we'd ever have a studio.
Yeah.
I just assumed it would at some point peter out and people would, but that was kind of fine. Do you know what I mean? That was never we never came with any aspirations of doing crazy things. It was always just a community of, no matter how big that community is, of small people that were doing something which was just enjoyable.
Everyone's there for each other. I think in Leeds, you can literally one day wake up and be like, I want to DJ, I want to make that happen. And there'll be 3 people that will facilitate that straight off the bat.